Hello, my name is John, and today we'll be reading True Mother's Keynote Address at the Blessing Peace Starts With Me, America Rally. Dr. Hochschild's message entitled The Mission of Christianity from the Viewpoint of God's Providence and the Responsibility of the United States at the Peace Starts With Me Blessing American Rally on April 6, 2019, at the City of Refuge Church in Gardena, California. Respected dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, my beloved religious leaders, and all of you blessed families that have received the marriage blessing from true parents, I welcome you all. Family Federation members from all over America, I am happy to meet you. Today we have gathered to realize the dream of Heavenly Parent and the desire of all humankind through receiving the blessing from true parents, the door by which you can stand in the position of true children in front of our Heavenly Parent has been opened. Today I wish to speak to you on the topic, the mission of Christianity from the viewpoint of God's providence and the responsibility of the United States. 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ came to earth as God's only begotten Son. Unfortunately, he could not complete everything, and as he went the way of the cross, he prophesied that he would come again. Afterwards, through the resurrecting work of the Holy Spirit and the apostles' work, as is recorded in the Bible, the Christian cultural sphere expanded. However, in the early days of the church, Christianity received severe opposition and passed through unimaginable difficulties. Then in AD 313, Christianity was officially permitted by the Roman Empire. It expanded from the Italian peninsula through continental Europe to the British Isles. Then from the United Kingdom, Christian missionaries went out to the world. Unfortunately, they did not understand the essence of Jesus. They did not know about the principles through which our Creator God made this universe, nor that he had been guiding the providence. In Jesus' teaching it reads, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Unfortunately, these missionaries who went out in the name of Christ placed the interests of their nations and their own self-interest first. In other words, rather than a culture of giving love, they established a culture of taking things away from others. In the 17th century, King James translated the Bible, which was written in Hebrew, into English, and as a result, many ordinary citizens gained access to God's Word. Up until now, because we fail to understand the essence of Christ, we have emphasized secularism and secular traditions even among religious believers, creating many mistakes. For example, from the midst of the Christian sphere, communism emerged claiming God was dead. This is humanity's mistake. At that time, regular believers did not wish to practice a secular faith. They wanted to worship God freely in their own homes. Out of that desire, they crossed an ocean and settled into a new continent. This is the genesis of today's America. However, even they could not understand heaven's providence. Originally, God created all things in heaven and earth in his own image. He then created Adam and Eve, who were to become the first human ancestors. God gave human beings responsibility. During their period of growth, they had to grow to perfection in a position of maintaining absolute oneness with God. However, during their period of growth, Adam and Eve became self-centered and allowed greed to consume them. That is the origin of today's fallen humanity. God, through our human ancestors, wished to become the heavenly parent of humanity, but Adam and Eve brought that dream to ruin. But since our Creator God had created based on the principle of creation, that the universe is eternal, God has had no choice but to go through the unwanted and painful providence of restoration through indemnity. In the Bible, it is written that God chose the people of Israel, and in the position of indemnifying everything over a long period of 4,000 biblical years, they established a national level foundation. God waited until that time and finally sent his only begotten Son, Jesus, and proclaimed, "This is my beloved Son." However, even Mary, the mother of Jesus, the family of Zechariah, the Jewish leaders, and the people of Israel did not fulfill the responsibilities in relation to Jesus. Through Jesus, God wished to realize his dream. Jesus knows how painful it was for God to see, once again, such a sad and painful outcome. And that is why he said, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." Matthew 26, verse 39. Once again, humankind brought sadness to God that could not be atoned for. God had created a man and a woman in accordance with the principles of creation. As Jesus went to the cross, he prophesied that he would come again. Today's Christians, however, say that they are saved by the blood Jesus shed on the cross. Do you know how far away this viewpoint is from heaven's providence? Since God created us to be eternal, Jesus prophesied that he would come again to host the marriage supper of the Lamb. So for whom should Christianity be waiting today? Prior to waiting for the true parents, they need to meet the only begotten daughter, the person who's become the true mother. We know very well about the tremendous indemnity the people of Israel had to endure throughout history because Jesus was crucified. God raises central figures and nations, but when they fail in their responsibility, heaven finds and establishes another chosen people, just as you saw through the video today. The only begotten daughter was born in 1943 in Korea. Korea's situation was extremely difficult during that time. Righteous men and women wishing for the independence of Korea, notably Christian believers, when Christianity had not even celebrated its centenary in Korea, and young students rose up during the March 1st independence movement. This year marks its 100th anniversary. The wish of all these students and Christian believers was for the protection of Korea. According to the principles of creation, God had to give the only begotten daughter a period of time through which she could reach maturity. In 1945, Korea was liberated, and in 1950, the Korean War broke out. At that time, Korea was powerless. It was divided in the communist North and the democratic South. South Korea at that time had embraced a democratic regime, but it took time for that system to fully develop. That is why in 1950, when North Korean communist forces invaded South Korea was unprepared for such an invasion. Like a miracle, heaven sent 16 UN member nations to come to protect democracy in the Republic of Korea. In 1960, the time had come when I could decide by myself, and in that year I ascended the position of a true parent. Fallen people yearn to return to God, but they cannot go before God by themselves. This is because, due to the fall, human beings were born into a lineage not connected to God, the fallen lineage of Satan. It is only through the marriage blessing of the unique true parents that a change of lineage can take place, and fallen human beings can be born again as God's children. If key figures had understood the providence, Christianity would have become the foundation. At that time, filled with the Spirit and the truth, the spirit of Christianity in Korea was stronger than in the rest of the world. Since Korea was in such a difficult situation, more than ever Koreans yearned for the Messiah. Because of such an earnest desire, heaven sent our true parents. 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ had to go the way of the cross because the people of the nation where he was born did not recognize him. Yet true parents' marriage blessings and the true family movement took root in an environment with Christian opposition, and we have been continuing these around the world for almost 50 years. The time has come. We can no longer hesitate. There are many problems arising all over the world that cannot be solved by human efforts and power. There are ethnic, religious, cultural, and ideological walls. In addition, due to human ignorance, we have created a lot of pollutants and caused pollution. If we consider this country alone, we can see that it has suffered many natural disasters due to global warming. Globally, throughout the nations of the world, many are dying. We cannot sit idly by and watch. This world which our Creator, God, created for us from the outset, is suffering and dying due to our ignorance. As God's true children, we cannot just sit by and observe the situation. Would you agree? According to scientists, after 2030 there will be more plastic waste in the ocean than there will be fish. As blessed families that are aware of this, what should we do? We should attend God, the Lord of creation, live in accordance with the eternal principles of creation, and find the right solution. Only then can we solve these problems. It is true that we are living comfortable lives today due to humankind's development, especially thanks to the work of scientists. However, this convenient lifestyle is causing many problems. What I am saying is that we should live in line with the principles originally established by God. Through the cycles of nature, everything is meant to last forever. But because people abuse the natural world, the balance of these cycles is disturbed, and many problems arise. We, therefore, feel the limits of the resources we have for the benefit of all living things on earth. Blessed couples who receive the blessing today, would you not want your beloved children to live in an even worse environment today than today's? Isn't that so? We must find solutions to these problems before it is too late. This means that self-centeredness and nations that place their national interests first will ultimately not survive. One way or another, we have to work together to get rid of pollution. We must combine our efforts and work in unity in order to do that. Many organizations around the world are deeply concerned about global environmental problems and the future food security. However, they too also think of themselves first. The only answer and way forward are the blessed families, those who have received true parents' blessing. Throughout history, there have been many cultural developments, but there also have been many difficulties. This is because there was no center. So today in particular, America is a nation that heaven has blessed. God has sought to save the world through its Christian culture. Originally, Native Americans were living in this country. However, God worked with the Puritans and blessed America to become the central democratic nation of the world within a short time of less than 200 years. This blessing, however, is not for America itself. As I earlier said, with blessing from heaven comes responsibility. Heaven blessed America so that America can embrace all of humanity. However, the leader of this nation, the leaders of other countries in the world, are engaged in politics and actions that are centered on their own interests. Going this way means there is no hope for the future. All of you here that have received the blessings today, please fulfill your responsibilities as tribal messiahs. And all ministers of religion participating today, please go to your places of worship and accomplish your responsibilities. We have to start a movement that will bring this country to attend our Heavenly Parent, our Creator God, even one day sooner. This is the only way for America to fulfill its heavenly mission as a nation blessed by God. In this way, God's dream and humanity's yearning to see the heavenly kingdom of one family of humankind under God can be realized. Today is the blessed day of the realization of this dream. The West Coast is Subregion 5 of the Family Federation in America. FFWPU has been divided into 5 areas. Now Subregion 5 is on fire, am I right? Would you like to take this flame to the Midwest and to the East Coast? Will you make this country a country that our Heavenly Parent loves and cherishes? Thank you very much. I trust your determination. Around us, many unacceptable things are happening, things that people should never do. We must wipe away all of these things. On the path to a peaceful world, do we need guns and swords? On the path to a peaceful world, we do not need guns and other weapons. You all know very well that as a result of these, innocent lives are taken every day. We can no longer just watch these things happen. What should we do? Let us practice true love. This can only be achieved through the blessing. Bishop Noel Jones, I ask you, please keep this flame alive. This video is a production of the School of the White Crane. Hi, my name is John. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and please share this video with family and friends and on social media. May God richly bless you, my beloved.